Hello, gorgeous people. My name is Talitha. I'm a nutritionist with a degree in nutritional medicine. I'm a hypnotherapist and I'm a counselor. And I'm making this brief video to explain to you my diet reset therapy model that I use for disordered eating or chronic yo-yo dieters. So I've been in the wellness arena now for about 15 years and specialized in chronic dieting and yo-yo dieting, binge eating, disordered eating. I'm going to label it disordered eating for over a decade. So this is my area. This is what I'm passionate about. What I've done is over the years, I've done a lot of speaking and I've combined in a lot of therapy. So I've combined everything that I've learned and that I've used into one therapy model now, which I'm using, diet reset therapy. So a little bit about what it is. I've got some notes here which I'm looking up and I'm going to show you some of the workbooks that we use. But basically, it's when you're in that disordered eating cycle, when you're eating when you don't want to eat, either you're binge eating or you're eating things that you don't want to eat that you always swear away from. It's an addictive pattern where you just go back and back, or you go on a crash diet and then it falls apart and then you gain all the weight and then you go on a crash diet, and this whole cycle. So the eating when you don't want to eat, the feelings of shame and guilt that really are so life minimizing and can make you quite miserable. And then going into, again, that restriction or that purge or that over exercise, or, we use so many different ways to deal with that core shame, and then the restriction, and then the eating again. So this is a cycle that so many people are on. It's so common, and that there's so many techniques now that we can use to teach you how to overcome it. So what I tend to do straight off the bat is I give you a food guidelines. We set a structure around food, but not a diet. It's not deprivating. It's just healthy and honest food. We try to gently move you away from what's not working. There's nothing about what I do that has to be sudden and harsh, because that's what's driven you here and that's why you're in this situation. So what I tend to do straight off the bat is a journal on your diet. So a diet diary with a difference, a diet diary that connects you with your emotions, with your triggers, with what's happening, the circumstances around your life that might be contributing to these things, the underlying factors. And because I'm a hypnotherapist, I do love to work. Well, I do work on the subconscious drivers, your conscious understanding of those belief systems, and also through your physiological response to disordered eating, what happens to the body, and why you get stuck into that cycle. So it's a program that steps you through an education process of yourself. Obviously, it's tailored individually to every client, but basically you're learning about yourself. So you end up growing as a person, not only away from your disordered eating, but into a more peaceful, centered place. So in the process, once we understand your diet, we understand your emotions and your triggers, then we start to unpack the cycle and work on your behavior. This can come in many, many forms. I have a workbook that we go through together. So in this workbook, I am stepping you through the different stages of your disordered eating pattern and helping you to unravel it and go, I understand it now. And through that understanding, cultivate a desire to change and become happier and healthier. So it's a very detailed process. I'm not going to go into it all here, but basically we work on your triggers, your emotional regulation, and your psychology around what you're experiencing with the disordered eating. There is a neurochemical reward system that's engaged in this process, which I will also explain. I talk about your nervous system and how your somatic nervous system is engaged and how to deregulate or decitate that. And we talk about the conscious drivers as well. We understand your triggers through exercises and communication, your emotions, and then we move into that core shame spiral. And that core shame spiral will keep you in this process repetitively. So whether it is a chronic yo-yo dieting situation or a binge eating situation or a bulimic situation, that core shame is the driver. It is the driver of a lot of addictions, probably if not all of them. So we move into that and we go through it and we understand it and we unpack it. From there, we talk a lot about your physiological responses, your insulin response, what happens to all of the sugar that you ingest and how it's so bad for your body and how it gets stored really quickly when you're binge eating or when you're eating large amounts. So we move through your negative thoughts, patterns until everything is understood. I work on 4 anchors in my diet reset model. I work with mental flexibility, which is basically helping you adjust your thinking and behavior quickly in order to deal with various circumstances differently. I have a note there. If I keep looking up, that's why. But yeah, we'd work on your negative belief systems, which were formed when you were young, that basically become like the lens in which you view your life from. So even if it's not on a conscious level, your behavior is driven by these belief systems that are really driving the show. The unconscious or subconscious mind, I should say, not unconscious, the subconscious mind drives 90% of our thoughts and behaviors. So it is so critical to do the work there that will help create proper change and proper belief systems. So bring it to the conscious mind, allow that to process and change. So we work through, again, your limiting beliefs. We do that through a lot of exercises, and then we work on your automatic negative thinking, which is that horrible voice that goes on and on and on, and we all have it. Happens in the morning, happens after a disordered eating episode. It can happen at any time, but we really work on changing it and not allowing it to run the show. And again, we do that through a lot of exercises. I move you away from victim, like I can't change this, the cycles beat me, and into responsibility, because from responsibility, we are able to create a solution. And from the solution, we're able to create change. So mindfulness is a huge part of what I do. I am a daily meditator. I exercise daily. I think about life from a different perspective than I did 15, 20 years ago, because I have learned mindfulness techniques. I question things. I don't take things on face value, and that has helped me immensely. So I am sharing that with you. I tend to use, on a broad stroke, acceptance and commitment therapy to teach you how to remove yourself from attaching yourself to your thoughts, all of those thoughts that drive you to the trigger and drive you to the behavior. We work at that level at the beginning through acceptance commitment therapy. We also work at watching our thinking, learning about our thinking, learning what works and what doesn't work. I teach you about the different parts of the brain and how when you're triggered and when you're in an emotional response, you're activating one part of the brain. And by simple techniques or a few different techniques, you can shut that off very quickly and change the chain of events, so that you're not moving into a reactive self-soothing pattern or a self-sabotaging pattern. Then we work on understanding where you want to go and what behavior will lead you there and what behavior won't. And a lot of you will understand, if you've been in the cycle, that you'll tend to move towards behavior that won't lead you to where you want to go. And that's why you're in the cycle. So we really work on understanding that you have a choice and how to navigate that choice so that it's effective and it works. I work a lot on resilience as well. Again, it's another part of what I do. We work on self-sabotage. This is really important because self-sabotage absolutely is a massive part of this disordered eating, particularly in chronic yo-yo dieters and binge eaters. So we work on there. We work on releasing the negative emotions that are attached to that. I teach you a whole bunch of techniques on how to desatiate your nervous system, how to ground yourself. These are things that can really help you in the future when you're dealing with emotions and triggers. Once we understand it and the pattern is stabilized, the behavior is stabilized, and you're moving forward without living in the past, and you're changing to become a healthier, happier person, then we work on where you're going, what you want in life, what that happy, healthy person looks like, what they do, what their aspirations are. And we really recreate you from the ground up into the person that you want to be, as opposed to the person that you've been stuck in. So that's what I do. If you'd like some more information on my diet reset therapy model, that you can contact me on my website. It's mindingourminds.com.au, or on Facebook or Insta. Both tags are Minding Our Minds, and my contact details can be found on those platforms. So thank you for listening. If you've come to the end, please contact me. I can help you. I'm here, and I would love to help you. So thank you, and see you later. Bye.